Hello and welcome to another episode of the Undebatables podcast. I'm Jamil Bukra.
I'm Ashlyn Kane.
And today's guest is Scott Penman.
Hi.
So tell us more about yourself, Scott.
I'm Scott Penman. I'm a comedian from London. I'm out here in Vienna doing some shows. Thank you so much for having me. I've been really enjoying myself so far. It's wonderful to meet you guys. Thank you so much
for
having me on your podcast.
Well, thank you for being here, Pete Davidson. We really appreciate that.
No problem.
It's really nice of you to come all the way out
here. Just
here.
came to my mind that, of course, we record this in advance.
Mm-hmm.
But when this episode will be released, he will be back in Vienna.
Is that right? Are you going to be back in
That's going to be
Vienna?
the Monday that you'll be back on Vienna.
That's right. I'm planning to be back out here.
That's how much planning Scott does.
December.
He records episode in advance for his coming back to Vienna.
That's
yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking on top of our comedian games in this industry. We're... This totally isn't like a rinky-dink setup we got hiding off of screen with our live studio audience. Hello, Kat. How's it going?
A massive shout out to Kat Saito for bringing me out here.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kat.
We're going to put her face later in post-prod.
Yeah. Well...
Kat actually sent me the wrong way on the train, so that's why I'm late.
Are we calling Kat out live on the podcast?
Yeah.
Hey, Kat, you've never been on our podcast before, but fuck you for sending me in the wrong direction.
To be fair, she did give
She sent him exploring Vienna.
She gave me good directions. I'm just not great at following them. Thank you, Kat.
Fair enough.
All right, so let's introduce the podcast concept for people who's joining us for the first time. We basically pick subjects that make absolute no sense, question no one have ever asked, and we get two comedians to debate it.
Mm-hmm.
How we gonna choose sides is basically with a coin toss. Today's subject is new parents should be legally allowed to do drugs. So, Scott, you're our guest. Choose heads or tail.
I'll go with tails never fails, please.
Tails never fails. And if you win, you want to argue for it or against it?
I think you're the second person in a row to say tails never fails.
The other person was
not
Irish.
Original.
No. The other person was Jacob.
All right, fuck it. I'll go heads then. I'll go heads, please. And if I
Wait,
win,
because they're Irish.
I will argue. I'll argue for the concept of new parents.
So if it's heads, you argue parents should be allowed to do drugs legally.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Why not?
Moment of truth.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
So I'm now arguing.
Tails never fails, indeed.
I'm arguing for the logical, team. All right.
You're the bringing the facts and logic to the podcast.
So we have
Fair
drugs
enough.
team and the DAA.
Yeah.
DAA.
Wait.
against
Isn't
my
he
own
arguing that parents should do drugs,
No,
or
it's
am I
tail.
doing?
You're gonna do it.
I'm doing drugs. Okay.
So you have
I'm
the
doing
opening
drugs.
statement. So you're the kid who support drugs.
Okay, I'm
Opening statement.
I'm the kid.
Because I did have good experience of
of kids or drugs.
Well, definitely not
parenting,
kids.
on drugs. Not
Yeah.
that I have children, but
Yeah.
I'm a child of a product of a
Oh.
of someone who liked a little bit of that, liked a little bit of that nose jazz. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, mine was just an alcoholic, like a
Oh,
normal
yeah.
parent.
Just the alcoholic
Old school
pussy.
drugs.
Yeah.
So opening statement in 3, 2, 1. Ashlyn, you go.
My fellow Americans. Drugs.
None of us is American.
My fellow Americans.
Hang on 1 second for the concept here. You're doing uninterrupted.
Yes. Thank you for
opening-
uninterrupting my
before,
opening
just
statement.
So you're doing this whole. We're not to interrupt. You're doing your thing.
No.
Yeah.
You can,
Or we can interject. or-
Yeah, we can interject. This is
Okay.
how.
Yeah, I'm
because
just
since
giving you
our
shit,
debating
sorry.
Make a lot of sense
Got you. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
to put the time limit to it.
thank you for letting me stall for time because So drugs. Wait, drugs are all right. Yeah, drugs are
I'm neutral.
Not for new parents.
not for new parents. I disagree with that. I think that
Oh, really?
You don't say.
I think that parents they be the other day I was at a restaurant and there were a lot of parents with their really, really young children. I'm talking like babies. You know what? Those kids were acting a fucking fool. Those kids.
Was that at the comedy show that?
I can neither confirm
that-
nor deny.
We outed Kat enough in the
We
show.
outed
Was that at the comedy brunch
I
show?
wasn't going to say, but now that you mention it.
Oh,
No, these kids, these parents, they had to deal with people on the stage talking to them, their kids talking to them, and they really needed some drugs. Like you could see the pain in their eyes that they really needed something to take the edge off. And I just think that if you're a new parent, you're going through a lot of stress, and you gotta let yourself unwind, and you should be able to do that without going to jail.
well, let's get specific. What drugs are you actually talking?
All of them, and all drugs.
So newborn
No,
kids will be looked after by strung out, heroinized mothers and
I mean,
fathers.
I didn't necessarily go into specifics, but the law
Well,
of
I'm asking you
improv
now,
says
what
yes.
specifics are we talking about? Like methed out mums
Methed out mums.
clawing at their own
That's
face.
an amazing band name, by the way. Methed out mums.
Looking at shadow people on the walls, losing their mind, shaking their babies. I just don't think you've thought this through.
I mean, I didn't
Does
necessarily.
that count as co-parenting, the shadow people?
Jamil asking the real question.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily say that the parents had to be raising the kids while they were doing the drugs. I just said that they should be allowed to do the drugs.
Who's watching the baby? Oh, no, the
Yeah.
leprechauns
Have
coming
you-
from the attic.
have you never heard
They've
of-
got it under control.
No, they got this really crazy new thing called babysitters that
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you've heard of those, but
Okay.
like they're like real,
So
not
would they
fictional
come
characters.
with the drugs? So the babysitter arrives with your like.
If you
order
have
of
the money to do
crack.
drugs, then you have the money to hire a babysitter.
Yeah, well, that's a service drug dealers could offer in advance.
They
as well,
could,
you know?
they could. We're, times are tough. It's Corona time.
Just for
People are
plus
unemployed.
$5.99, you get a babysitter.
Are you a parent, a new parent with a newborn baby, and you want to do heroin? Like, here you go.
If they just bring you the correct drugs that are going to turn you into the mindset of a baby as well. And then they're just looking after two kind of babies. You're just wandering around on the floor, like dribbling on yourself and learning to walk again.
that means if they're an only child, then they'll have someone to play with.
Okay.
Wait, then someone
That's
is
it.
playing with is a messed up mom or the
Yeah,
babysitter?
yeah, no. If we're gonna do, sometimes play dates get canceled, and the parents, they need to spend quality time with their children. What better way to do that than if both of you are on the same mental capacity level?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I think it's really irresponsible to.
Oh, do you
I
now?
think it's really irresponsible.
Oh, that's
the idea of,
interesting.
like, these inverts. It's strange, isn't it? Human beings are the only like kind of life form that maybe I'm absolutely wrong here, but the only life form that kind of needs parenting, right? Most animals are kind of just ready out the box. Like you see a giraffe just falls out of a giraffe mum's vagina and is pretty much straight out of the sack into the sands of the Serengeti, ready to like wander around and not be eaten by a lion.
Have you ever considered that maybe they're like that because their offspring knows from a young age that those fucking parents aren't gonna give a fuck about them? They gotta let them go into the
parents
wild.
are chill because
No, the parents
kids
are
are
chill.
ready.
The parents, they don't even blink when they give birth to their giraffe children. They're
Yeah.
just like they're.
Yeah,
I don't
just
trust that they're
cold.
not. I'm not saying that they do drugs. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. What I'm saying ultimately is that if the other species in the world are able to just not give a fuck about their kids, why should we? Maybe it'll make us better as a species.
Well, that's it, because we can't just tend for
Why
ourselves.
not?
Because we're still little fleshy little bags of life, really.
Yeah,
we
because-
come out at 9 months with squishy heads, and we're
Yeah.
not fully formed.
Well,
We take
maybe if
18 years
they did
to-
drugs,
What-
it
what
would be
about-
different. Maybe.
what about it's a gradual drug? So you start with soft things,
Mhm.
and if the kid is too hard to handle, you go
Have you guys got much experience on drugs? Like, I find it hard to just cope.
I have a little bit of
yeah,
experience,
I-
as much as I'm willing to admit on
Yeah.
camera.
I'd
Mom,
find it
I
hard
never
to-
did drugs.
Yeah, don't watch this episode, Mom.
I struggle with like the basic concepts and the basic, easy things that you know throughout your entire life. Like sometimes I'll smoke a joint and I'll be like, I'll forget how exactly the way to make a proper cup of tea is. I'll forget like,
See, this is
cup
how
first, then bag, water, and I'll get paranoid about the whole thing. If you to throw a baby into the mix, I'm sure there's
So
going
you
to be a fire.
Take a shit, put it in the diaper, and then put it on
Yeah,
the
exactly.
kid.
I'll be getting things completely wrong.
Like the idea that you take the shit for the baby instead of
Something like this. I know I'm doing something right.
I thought that the fact that you spelled it out like that proves to me that you are not a true drug addict, because real drug addicts know how to function and prove to everyone that they are actually sober when they are indeed absolutely off their minds, you know?
Yeah, but for some people are like really good at it. I was a drug addict, but not great at it.
Well, is that why you gave up? Don't give up on your dreams,
Giving up
Scott.
quitters. No, I just continue to do it badly. No, I mean, I've definitely had my. I don't know. Drugs aren't like cool, though, are they? There's
Are they not now?
There's like
Drugs aren't cool
No,
from the guy who does drugs.
I mean, it's
No, he sells drugs.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we do what we can to survive.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I'm trying
what
to
is
give you
drugs,
a
man?
business model.
What is drugs? Are we talking illicit, illegal drugs? Is that what we're talking about?
I'm gonna say yes.
Where does it? Where's the line drawn? Like, is a cup of coffee? A cup of coffee is a drug.
I'm gonna
you
say-
have a strong cup of coffee. You're liable to shit your pants. You're liable to say some mad shit.
Are you liable to like commit a crime and or eat all of the food in you and your roommate's fridge?
I mean, maybe not necessarily on coffee, because
Yeah,
that,
there
that's
you
gonna
go.
Stop me eating completely. I'm just gonna be wired. But I don't need any kind of drugs to have the moral corruption to eat my roommate's food. I do it on the regular.
But what I'm saying is that like I'm going for drugs that are a danger to society and or your roommate's fridge.
Okay, what about these new spooky drugs? Because of the war on drugs, that these natural drugs that we've got, thousands of years of experience doing. They say there's people out there that think
Bath
magic
salts.
mushrooms are like the origin of humanity itself. When you listen to that stoned ape theory from Terence McKenna and whatnot, you'll hear loads about on the Joe Rogan show.
Yeah.
Another kind of podcast. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's quite as popular
not
as
some
this one.
loser podcast
But-
like
but
Our
us.
conquering Joe Rogan. We are
then you-
coming to you.
But then you were talking about it there, like that bath salts. Like, that comes about from a need, because of these drugs are illegal and illicit and whatnot. It comes from a need of these other people tinkering with molecules to make these synthetic drugs, and they make this shit like bath salts and whatnot. And you find out, these homeless guys are eating their mates underneath bridges.
Yeah,
and stuff.
you know what would be a good way to prevent that is to make those drugs legal for new parents to do.
Okay, you're right. We come back to the circle, and with only a little bit of sand from this chamber. I'm pretty
do
much
you
with you.
concede? I mean,
Give you another perspective.
Okay.
Do you think that would be motivation to have more kids? Now that you can legally.
Well, that's why
get-
that's why the crackheads have loads of kids, right? Because like crack makes you horny, right? And they're in a crack house. Apparently, crack makes you horny, and that's why there's loads of crack babies out there. Because there's these people will do things for crack.
Yeah.
Apparently, crack is quite moreish.
Including making kids.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Well, I haven't got any money to pay for this crack. Yeah, but fucking I don't know.
So
Put
let
a
me
kid
make
in
a kid and sell it on eBay.
Yeah,
make the
or
kid or
something.
get more money from the government. Isn't
I
that
don't
what
think they're
y'all?
really thinking that through either. When you're cracked out, you're like, oh fuck, I'm pregnant again.
Is that what fucking Margaret Thatcher thought that like everyone who like signed up for benefits was doing was just
Yeah, I mean,
doing
Margaret
crack
Thatcher was
babies?
definitely on crack.
I mean, yeah. Oh my God. Could you side note, what could you fucking imagine her on crack cocaine?
Yeah, I can. All these world leaders, they are on a sort of kind of amphetamine, right?
mean, yeah,
they need
but-
it because like that whole Donald Trump had a load of Sudafed and whatnot. He was constantly hyped up on these pills.
Yeah.
I'm sure Joe Biden's hooked up with a concoction
Well,
to stop him from just dozing off wherever he is.
Exactly.
These political leaders are under a lot of
but
Joe
stress. so-
Biden is already on speed.
Yeah, but I'm certain that it's just weird to imagine someone like Barack Obama, for instance,
Obama
having
smoked
done
weed?
smoked weed, not crack cocaine. That's what I'm saying. I don't think
He's
I
just
don't
breaking
think
the
that's
stereotype
I-
about black people.
he's Jesus. I don't think that that's even true because black people smoking weed is also a stereotype.
No, that's a cool stereotype that you're not propagate.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
it
but I
wouldn't
don't-
surprise me.
I-
They do way shadier shit.
I
these
don't
political
think
leaders.
that Margaret Thatcher's drug of choice would have been crack cocaine. I
No,
think it would have been
hers
something
hers
else.
was a cup of tea. But it's still a drug, isn't it? It's still like, there's still... Of course it is.
Are we really calling
where do
tea
you
a
draw
drug?
the line? That's where I go back
literally
to.
said anything that either
You can
causes
still
you to commit
abuse tea,
crime.
right? You can still abuse tea.
Can you
can get
commit crimes
addicted.
on tea?
Well, you
Name a violent. Well, actually, her
Conquering
entire.
the world.
I was gonna
Exactly.
say. No, I was gonna say her entire time in office was a
her
crime
entire-
technically.
I
the
don't know.
only the all British Empire.
The entire British Empire, yeah, but they had opium, so there was a drug there already to begin with.
They started with tea, and
Yeah, they
that was a gateway.
no.
drug.
They started with opium, and then they stole the tea from everywhere else they went.
I guess at the end of the day, we're in a
If you had to draw the
classification.
line, where would you draw it?
Well, look. Well,
Yeah.
Look, what's a fucking drug, man? Instagram is a drug to me.
No, the fuck, that's gambling. That's its own kind of drug. Okay, the individual apps are not
Okay, let's
like their
put it
own drug.
For sure,
Mine-
man. It's dope. It's giving you dopamine. It's giving you the exact same thing as like a hit of
That's-
crack is giving you.
that's-
It's giving you this dopamine fix when you find yourself scrolling on Instagram when you should, I don't know, look at a couple of pictures when you're taking a shit or whatever. But then all of a sudden it's encompassing your whole life and you're constantly
Just because
You
you
forget
can.
that you had the kid
just
to warm.
because-
Wake up.
There's plenty of kids who have been neglected because of social media.
Who-
Like,
because
that's an
they're-
absolute fact.
the
There'll be
kids-
mums
the kids
watching
are
their kid wander
fine.
into traffic while they're taking selfies of their fucking new lips.
They're fine. The kids are being watched by Instagram, by Mark Zuckerberg
yeah.
himself.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
fine. No, just because you can get addicted to something doesn't mean that it's a drug. You know?
I disagree.
Okay. How the
So
fuck?
to make this debate go,
So
in
everything
one
is a
direc-
drug.
Anything that gives you like a dopamine
Okay,
kind
what
of hit, I
about-
suppose. Anything.
so let's
Exercise
put-
could be a drug. Anything.
Let's-
Especially a stimulant. If we're getting down to the brass tacks of it, there's no real difference between cannabis and tea because they're both a plant. They both consume.
Except they
to give
have
you
very
effect.
different
Okay, for-
effects
Well, it doesn't
on the
matter
brain.
effect. It's
Yes,
still
it
like,
does.
no, it doesn't. So okay, a motorcycle and a car
people,
are different.
For a second,
Yes,
let's
they
Yeah,
are
but they're still,
different.
but they're still a mode of transport, aren't they? Is what I'm saying. It's still a mode of transport, still a way of getting around.
Okay, but they get different insurance, for instance, for a fucking reason.
Fair dues, but it's still, you can't deny that it's it's still a mode of transport, and like you can't
Okay,
argue the fact that
okay, you're
tea is a stimulant and it's grown from a plant. Cannabis is a stimulant.
You are literally comparing apples to oranges. Just because they are both fruit doesn't mean that they are
Well, yeah,
the
but
same.
you're saying an apple and orange is.
We're getting
let's
heated.
call the mind altering drugs.
That's-
Are you
yes.
telling me a
The
cup of
one that
coffee isn't
gets you
mind
hyped.
altering?
What?
Are you telling me a cup of coffee isn't mind altering?
I would say no because
Well, of course it is. That's why people drink it. They need
No.
a perk. They need a caffeinated hit.
it stimulates the senses, but it doesn't
that
change your
gets you
state
high.
of mind. You know what I mean? Like you're
Okay, so
still
maybe you're drawing the line under psychoactive.
yes. Let's
But I'm
use
still
that
going to
one.
argue that caffeine is psychoactive. It might not be psychedelic. You might not, but you drink 50 fucking coffees, and you're going to be in a different world. It's all about dosage, right? If you take Instagram all fucking day, you're going to be fucked up. You're going to be you're going to be in an altered state.
If you'll be in an altered state, but I don't think anyone would compare that to like an actual drug fueled haze.
Okay, what about parenting on ayahuasca?
On what?
Ayahuasca,
Ayahuasca?
I think
natural DMT.
Right. Well, maybe I might argue in opposite of my assigned role here then, because potentially I think these kind of spiritual enhancing substances like ayahuasca, DMT, psilocybin, magic mushrooms, that kind of
like
thing.
psychedelic
Yeah,
stuff.
psychedelics. I think that's got a potential to unlock something in you that's only going to bring about. Well, it might bring about fucking crazy space alien pink monsters coming out your walls.
might make you a better parent
more
to
than
your
that's what
child.
I'm saying. It's going to give you that like deeper level of empathy, and that's why they're finding it in these kind of studies where they're doing this kind of mind maps, DMT studies, mushroom studies, where they're making people, they get closer to the spirit molecule or God or whatever. So to answer your question, yeah, I think those sort of drugs could be mandatory to be like, all right, you
have to do LSD once before you have a kid.
to have some mind expanding kind of
You're only allowed to get off birth control once you get LSD.
Oh my god.
potentially, mate. Well, I think that's a good argument for like everyone should, like, I don't know, almost in some sort of shamanic ritual, do magic mushrooms like at, I don't know, 16 or something, to like kind of have this experience.
You heard it here, folks. Do drugs.
Yeah, do it. Anything that's going to expand your consciousness to make you a more rounded person.
Here's my thing though. I think that the distinction between psychedelic and psychoactive stuff, and we're going to argue that that distinction is meaningless, as in you can get addicted to anything, then why stop at fucking LSD? Why not just do like black tar heroin at this rate, you know? You'll be in an altered state of mind. You might be more chilled out. You might be more attentive to your kid.
Well, it's just chemicals, right? At the end of the day, no matter what you do in life is a chemical game. Whether you're, you know, just experiencing life normally day to day, you do a little bit of exercise, that's going to increase chemicals in your brain, that's going to make you feel better. If you have a can of Coke, you're going to have that sugar rush, you're going to have that caffeine, that's chemicals changing your brain. So no matter what you do, you can't escape it. You could say,
so then why is it illegal?
well, that I think for profit. I think, you know, what do we know? These powers that be that control the world, lizard people. They,
Not the Jews, just like billionaires.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm of course referring to, like, you know, the conspiracy-minded
Yeah,
tinfoil
yeah.
hat, you know, David Icke newsletter.
Well,
which
he's
I
pretty.
constantly
He doesn't
receive.
like Jewish people, though, David Icke.
I don't know about that. I mean, you know, who does? Why is that? I'm kidding. You can't cancel me. I don't exist.
That's okay. They'll cancel Pete Davidson instead. He'll just abscond into the night.
But yeah, I'm already down that rabbit hole of like the conspiracy theory. Like I'm
Well, so then, what's stopping the parents from doing drugs? Then why is it that you're against it? Because that is the role you're supposed to argue
you're
for.
not stopping parents doing drugs. I think I don't know. Unfortunately or fortunately for your argument or the benefit of the podcast or whatever, but I'm going to say, kind of unfortunately, really, there's plenty of kids being neglected right now for that sweet taste of fucking heroin or whatever the drug of choice is.
And they're going to prison unjustly for this is an injustice.
Yeah, some of them. I mean, at the end of the day, children, you shouldn't have them. You shouldn't fucking have them.
Okay. I hate that I bring up all of these points as a joke, and he's just like, yeah, fuck it. I agree with you. Like, they fuck them kids.
Yeah, I don't know where's the I mean, I have to stay agnostic. Is that the word? I have to stay like...
You have to stay agnostic despite voicing your displeasure for the Jewish people.
No, they're great. I'm kidding. I mean, it's like, you know... Fuck knows. You know, what's the one racist you're not supposed to say? I've got black friends or I've got Jewish friends. Yeah, I don't have any Jewish friends. So I'd like to make some.
I can borrow you one.
Yeah, let me know.
He can become Jewish for this podcast.
Sure. I don't get that. While we're on the topic of Jews, why?
Trust me, on this podcast, we went darker.
Why are they cutting the tip of the foreskin off? What's that all about?
You know, I don't like that either.
To make drugs out of it.
To raise their kids better.
I think it's the same shady people, man. I think it's the same shady industry that's like, you know.
I mean, I don't
cutting off the foreskin. Why are you doing that? Why are people doing that?
I agree.
That's a fucking topic. Let's flip the coin. Foreskin or not foreskin? That is the question.
Imagine that's the next debate topic. Should our live studio audience is requesting that this be
That's one. I'm not sure she want to have the debate or the circumcision.
I think she just wants to come up here and be like, okay, so dicks, they need to look a certain way, and I don't like the... And she's giving me the thumbs up.
Well, let's do a concept. Are you for the foreskin? Or
no. This is for our content. You can't... This is spoilers for our podcast.
Cross-referencing future episodes.
Yes. This is the Undebatable cinematic universe where we address the Jewish question, apparently.
I've just got my head fully stuck in a...
On the foreskin. No, I don't like the circumcision either. I think that's like
the penis that you get stuck in the foreskin.
Okay. Do we want to know the answer to this question? Really?
Donate €1 now.
Donate
so
€1.
€2.
So that we can have at least one extra euro.
I knew a guy who took pride in the fact that he could fit loads of copper coins underneath his foreskin. And he wouldn't have been able to do that if he was Jewish or... grew up in one of those countries where they take it off, or like America or whatever.
Yeah. That's his wallet.
Yeah, he could fit a hefty amount under that little skin coin purse.
Wait, so are you arguing for
that wasn't me, by the way.
against foreskin? What are you arguing for now?
Okay.
I'm all about keeping it, no matter.
So that you can have an extra coin
no matter
purse.
what. I think it
as
was,
a moderator, I need to stop you.
yeah, sorry, yeah, we went way off topic.
This
Yes.
We went way
Way
off
off
topic.
topic.
I'm afraid. Sorry. Just
Unbelievable.
hit a fucking hard left at
So okay,
fucking
let's-
foreskins.
Are the Jewish
since we
people?
don't have that much time left, let's when we talk about drugs, let's put just weed. Do you think
Okay.
parents on weed will make it better or worse? So should parents be allowed to be?
I'm
on
gonna
weed?
say it's I can't argue for or against here because look, it's a personal choice, but
We
I
are talking
know.
about being
Legal.
allowed, legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when's legality ever stopped you blazing up a joint? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's literally the topic of the
all right,
debate.
yeah, sorry, yeah, sorry. Okay, all right. And,
I mean,
and
'cause
I am
you're
arguing
right.
against it, of course.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to say, obviously, I'm going to be like, hell no, you can't fucking smoke that weed because you've got a baby to look after. And if you're blazed out of your mind just under the control of the devil's lettuce, you're only going to be concentrated on your munchies and you'll potentially eat all the baby food and your baby will starve to death and die a little emaciated baby who never had the chance to get enough nutrients to grow. So I'm going to say, no, don't smoke the pot if you've got a baby.
If you don't smoke the pot, if you've got a little tot.
That is the catchphrase.
Bars.
Yeah, that's the catchphrase.
So
Yeah.
this is where I'm gonna have to disagree. I think that when you get the munchies, all you can think about is munchies. Meaning you'll get a free reminder to feed your kid every time you smoke weed. Because you're not gonna what kind of fucking psychopath just eats baby food
Are you
as
kidding
munchies?
me? If I'm high, I won't eat. I'll just eat ingredients. I will eat.
No, there's-
just,
okay, so
just whatever there is.
you are a
I'll
psychopath,
open packets of soy sauce.
Why?
I'll open. I'll just.
I
odd-
know people who eat raw pasta.
Hell
on
yeah.
munchies.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah.
You keep like things of spaghetti with
Yeah.
fettuccine where you just bite into it like it's bread.
Someone makes me a pasta shell birthday card. I might eat that. I'm liable. PVA glue and
Okay.
crayons and everything.
So there will be a strict pasta ban from the munchie
Yeah, if
household.
you make
Kid
pasta
make you a
art.
pasta necklace like thank you. This for the next month.
Yeah, exactly. I'll eat through that motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. So it sounds like there are different issues at play here.
Mental
that-
issues.
Yeah, yes, that are definitely not helped with the advent of drugs. But that doesn't mean that this should be illegal across the board for all parents to do drugs.
Buying weed here, do you get text like the menu?
I don't prefer to answer that question live on the podcast. No, I don't know any. I've never heard of
in
that.
London, they text you a whole menu now. It's like
That's because y'all gentrified your shit up there in London.
Yeah.
Like that, y'all are a real city. We haven't quite figured that out yet.
it's real business. It's real
Yeah.
big business.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like customer service. One guy he like drops off like
Is
a
it
little
not-
toffee crisp, a little chocolate,
Is
or
it not
sometimes he'll give you
legal?
free Rizzler. You forget it's illegal.
It's illegal, but you can still just get access to this
Pretty
shit.
much advertise it. I've had guys give me business cards on the street, and I'd be like, "That's an entrepreneur right there."
I heard about that, and you have like the.
This is now a finance
You can
podcast.
also get like
business
royalty card,
advice.
like after 10
Yeah,
balls,
man.
like you get the 9
Yeah.
balls, the 10th one is for free.
The guy comes with a stamp. Better than Starbucks.
Jesus Christ!
Get with the needle.
Yeah,
You put.
yeah.
Pack up 10 needles, the 11th is for free.
Oh Jesus Christ! This is
Have you ever had a surgery? Have you ever been in the doctors and had like an operation or anything like that?
what defines an operation?
Like gone under general anesthetic is kind of what I'm getting at.
General, no.
Or had
General
had a
anesthetic.
morphine kind of drip in the hospital.
In a hospital, no, but I haven't put under like laughing gas for.
Like dentistry shit.
Yeah, yeah. Like
and they
dentist-
knock you out.
Yeah, I got one of my wisdom teeth out like completely sober.
Right. Oh
So,
shit.
Yeah, I got a filling done under laughing gas, and I got a fucking tooth taken out. Nothing.
Why did they hate you?
I was in a really bad situation.
Oh,
the
God.
doctor didn't like me. No, I don't know.
shit.
I don't want to
She had
actually say the
straps
reason.
to the-
Yeah.
to the-
Was it an actual dentist? This guy he had
No, I'm-
qualifications.
Yeah.
That's the guy who called himself the
Yeah.
dentist.
No, yeah.
A guy who owned pliers.
I saw his ad on Craigslist, and I was
Craigslist,
just,
that's where you go wrong.
I was on a budget, you know.
Yeah. Budget dentistry is kind of like
Yeah,
budget
look,
Sky
we're
Jet.
not
That's
used-
something you don't do.
We're not used to having health insurance where I'm
Of
from.
course, yeah, you poor
So-
third world country, America.
Yeah. Why do you think we came here to a second world country?
Sorry about that.
Why are you apologizing
To
for
get
that?
the root canal not sober.
It was free though. I mean, it's out. I don't have it anymore. So if someone has my DNA, they can. Don't tell me what you'll do with it, but it's there for someone to presumably to do something with. I have this is like a completely random fact, but like I have like a little skin tag. You can't really. I'm gonna just take a picture and
Does
put
it
it
have
in
a
post.
name?
I don't have a name for it, but I've purposefully kept it.
Let's have a look at it.
I don't know if you can really see it. This is great for a podcast. This is great content for a podcast to look at, to have visual, to take advantage of the visual medium of podcasts. It's like this little thing right here. I will just show you after the podcast. It's
Are you
not
self-conscious
really.
about it?
No, I'm not self-conscious.
So you can tie a little bit of
I'm
string around it.
self-conscious about taking off my sweater on the
Take
podcast.
it off. Take it off. No, we don't
I
have that
like
much
how you
time.
nervously start. You were
What
less
sort of
nervous
podcast is
talking
this?
about the Jews than you were about sexualizing me on my own podcast.
He's
No.
not sure if you're minor or not.
I'm like 21 and a half, okay?
Yeah.
No, I have a little
She's-
skin tag on my shoulder, and people have always told me my whole life, like, you should just get rid of it. And I've always been like, no, I'm going to keep it on until I get a clone made of me, if that ever happens in the future, like where you end up in a situation. It's one of those things where when you're as a kid, you expect it to be a more common problem, like quicksand.
Yeah.
You expect quicksand to be a problem. And for some reason, as a kid, I expected like clones in the future trying to kill you to be.
So you just keep that.
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
keep this until the exact clone of me is
Just that
made
little bit of
with the
skin.
skin tag.
Yeah.
And then I'll get mine removed so they know which one is the real one.
Yeah, that's why I got circumcised.
Jesus.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I've
Goddamn,
got
you
all
know,
my dick.
yeah,
I'm just kidding. It's all
Yo,
there.
I think
he's
I-
waiting until there is a clone so he gets circumcised.
I think we should just end it
Yeah.
there. That's that's why I got circumcised.
Nice.
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
We're gonna put in post prod the skin tag.
Yeah, if you thought that picture of a
And
skin tag was impressive, you just wait.
Your Patreon only.
In fact, you can buy the actual foreskin if you want. I've got it in a jar.
He's got a menu. He can text you
Yeah.
later.
Well, people, that, you know, speaking of like consuming bits of body pieces and whatnot, when people are born, right, like the placenta is like, that's a commodity people want, right? Have you heard about people
I do
like
know.
consuming the placenta? I think there's some hippies
I've heard
out
some
there who like
making a
smoke it as
teddy
well.
bear out of. I've seen someone make a teddy bear. Like I've seen it on the internet, not personally.
Yeah, but
It's fucking cursed. Someone made a teddy bear out of their own placenta to give to their child. It's fucked up. I think it was a service. I
it's
could be
funny
wrong.
enough, like eating
Like Build-A-Bear.
placenta, it's fine, but making a teddy bear.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing just to eat it when it's done. You know,
Yeah.
I've seen like, you know, those wet markets in China and
Yeah.
Wuhan and whatnot. People eating like live octopus. It can't be more, you know, stranger
But
than that. Really.
but like taxiderming an octopus. I regret this. But
Oh.
hi, nice to meet you, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank you for
No
coming.
worries.
This was a really interesting episode.
Yeah, sorry,
Thank you for watching. So Scott,
Oh my God.
I think I
Just
kind of missed maybe the point.
It's
of the-
fine.
of the
Usually we
debate.
do
I
closing
apologize.
statements.
Usually
We're not bothering now.
Yeah,
We've
just
talked
don't
about
do drugs. Concentrate on your kids. Raise them right.
do
you know,
drugs.
Show them love and
cut your
empathy.
penis off
Don't cut your penis off.
and your skin.
Don't cut your penis off. Keep your penis. People are cutting their penis off though. That's the done thing now, right?
that
It's-
will be another.
Is this a
episode.
different topic? All right, we're about to open up a can of worms, or of the lack of worms. Who knows? But we won't be discussing it this time around. All right, 30. Let's go. Dick on or dick off? Okay. No, we won't start this.
Thank you so much for being on our podcast.
No problem.
Please,
Thanks so much
please
for having me.
plug
You have
your
something to
stuff.
plug?
What do you have?
Yeah. You can get me on Instagram, Scott Penman, and then I'll be back in Vienna on the 13th of December doing a few shows. Thank you so much, Kat, for bringing me out. It's been so wicked being out. I know I've only been out here for a few days, but I got to do a show with you guys yesterday. We're doing a show
Aw.
later on, and just to be so warmly welcomed into the Vienna scene has been really, really nice.
We're
So,
really
really
glad.
yeah, thank you so much.
Looking forward to see you again.
Yeah, seriously.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And as usual, like, subscribe,
Cut your
put in
penis
comment
off.
if I don't know which subject
Do
we're arguing
drugs.
today. This time we argued a lot of them.
Give your children drugs. Okay, bye.